What's up, primetime family? I got Faith Schueler here. She's an up
Hey friends.
she's an up and coming artist. She's gonna tell us a little bit about yourself, Faith. Tell us where you're from and how you got started.
Hey, so I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, and growing up in Charleston was so much fun. I love the beach. So living near a beach was just like the best way to grow up. And I started music from a very young age. My mom introduced me when I was a baby. She would always sing to me, and I feel like she really inspired me to start singing. And then when I was very young, like 11 probably, I started singing in my church, and so I would sing on the adult worship team. And I just remember falling in love with performing on stage. So when I was 13, I wrote my first song. I took it to a coffee shop at an open mic and I sang it for the first time. And I just was like, this is exactly what I want to do. So ever since then, I've been pursuing music, writing songs. I started coming to Nashville when I was 16, traveling back and forth from Charleston to record my originals and working with my producer here. And it's just been the wildest experience of my life.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, if you weren't doing music, what do you think you would be doing?
Oh my goodness. So I actually, fun fact, I used to be a dancer. I was a dancer for 10 years
Okay.
and I loved dancing and I felt like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. But then I quit dancing for obviously to be a singer. And I feel like if I wasn't singing, I'd probably want to go back to dancing just because I love it so much. And if there's a world where I can mix two of them one day, I absolutely will.
You got Dasha out there. She's kind of doing both of that,
I know this girl's crushing it.
for real. So how's your artist experience been? Kind of living in Nashville, doing that whole thing. It's kind of a change of life, obviously, change of pace.
Yeah, in Nashville, everything is very fast paced.
Mhm.
Like living in Charleston, I love Charleston and it will forever be in my heart, but it's not like a huge music scene.
Yeah.
So like I would you know, do anything I could to get a show and rights and stuff like that when I was there. But it wasn't until I moved to Nashville to when I actually started writing consistently and getting in co-writes and meeting other people. It's like a whole new world over here and you got to keep up. Like that's just the fact is everybody is go 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 and luckily I have that mentality. I actually hate doing nothing. So when I'm here, I'm just constantly working on my songwriting, just trying to get better and better, surrounding myself with other people like me, and just learning from everyone. So it's just such a good opportunity to grow.
Yeah, no, that's important. Yeah, this town is super busy, and surrounding yourself with
Yeah.
the right people is so important. And you don't really understand until you move here. It's one.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, moving here was like a shock because you get like the city vibes, but it's also still so small town
Sure.
vibes. Like
Yeah,
everybody is connected in some way. It's just a very small world here. And yeah, it's just so amazing to like get in these groups and start interacting with people who are more than just singer-songwriters, but also like in the business and
yeah,
who know, all aspects of what it is to be a country music singer or an artist in general. So I love it.
for sure, for sure. So, who's a few artists you grew up on that you were kind of influenced by?
Yeah, so this is funny. Last night I was singing a song Suffragette show and they asked me like when was the moment you knew like you want to do this? And I said it's when I saw Taylor Swift on CMT's, channel and she had just released Fearless. And I remember watching her like just in awe of how amazing of a songwriter she is, how great of a performer she is. So she has heavily influenced me throughout my career as well. And there's just like so many artists growing up, like Martina McBride. My mom and I would sing her songs all the time. And Rascal Flatts, oh my gosh, I had like their whole album. Back when you would go buy a CD, I would be at Target picking out all my CDs.
Mhm.
So those are some people who definitely influenced me. Of course, Lady A, I grew up listening to them and they're phenomenal. And I actually opened for them a few weeks ago. So that was a full circle moment.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So how was that experience? Did you get to meet with them and talk with them a little bit?
Yeah, I did. So I actually, sometimes when you're opening for artists, you definitely want to be respectful. So I kind of just, gave them their space. I was like, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for, having me. But actually, all of them came out of their green room just to greet me. They were the sweetest humans ever. Charles, he walked out of his room and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I am so impressed by your performance," and was just so kind. And he was like, "Would you like to write a song with me?" And I was like, "Are you serious right now?" So, yeah, it's really cool to meet them and they're just the sweetest people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So recently I've seen on your social media that you played song Suffragettes.
Yeah.
What is that and how important was that to you?
Yeah. So when I auditioned for Song Suffragettes, I just remember I was so nervous. I was really excited because a lot of like legends, like females who are going to go so far in the music industry, who are already making, a huge impact on females and country music in general, like Kelsey Ballerini, Carly Pierce,
Yeah.
Maddie and Tay, like they've all been a part of the Song Suffragettes. So when I went to this audition, I was like so nervous. But Todd was so sweet. And so he was like, "We'd love for you to be a part of it." That alone just means so much to me because women in country music, like we don't get the airplay that males do. And back in the 90s, it was just a whole different world with Shania and all of these wonderful female artists, Trisha Yearwood getting played on the radio. And now some times have changed. So the song Suffragettes is just a reminder that like, hey, the females are still here to
Yep,
play.
for sure.
And yeah, I just love that about them. All of the girls there are so sweet and supportive of one another. So I love like even interacting with them backstage and hearing their stories and kind of just connecting with them and resonating with their stories as, a female country artist. So it is just an honor to be a part of that group. And last night was amazing. We got a great response from the crowd. And I think everyone really enjoyed the show. It was really fun.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So
Thank you.
June 7th, you put out a single, Trying to Love You. How
Yeah.
how has that kind of translated to your fans and everything?
Yeah. So, songs are not just for me. Like songs are for my fans. And anytime I'm writing a song, even if it's about like my personal life, I always try to think of my fans and like, okay, what do they go through? So like I could be the happiest girl in the world, right? Like I could be in a relationship and have it all figured out and which I don't, by the way, but I I want to write for others. I want to write songs that can help others through my own experiences. So when I put out Trying to Love You, my manager actually he called me and he was like, "You just need to speak through your heart. Like we want emotion. People love emotion." And I said, "All right, you want emotion? I'll give you my emotion." So I went into this write with my guitar player, Walker King, and my producer, Pat Tarpey. And so actually, we're finishing up a session for a totally different song. And it was the last 10 minutes. Everyone was packing up, like ready to go. And Walker starts playing this lick on the guitar. I was like, "Wait, that's so cool." And my producer was like, "Let's track it right now." In 10 minutes, I had the whole song written. And I believe any song from a heart From the Heart is written in
For
like
sure.
20 minutes or less. And yeah, I had the whole thing done and we had the demo recorded at the end of this session. And I was like, okay, this has to be the next single. So Trying to Love You is just a very like vulnerable song. I feel like about something a lot of people can relate to, especially, you know, in younger relationships when you're still trying to navigate like who you are and what you want to be and how to have a healthy relationship. And so it's basically about like when you are pouring yourself out trying to love somebody, but this person like has a hard time loving themselves. And so it's really hard to be in a relationship when the other person can't love themselves. And so the hook is I couldn't lose myself trying to love you. So yeah, it's a very deep song. You definitely need some tissues if you're going to listen to it. But I'm really proud of it and I feel like it definitely speaks from the heart.
No, that is awesome. That's awesome. I mean, that's what music's all about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So then July 26th, you have a new song coming out. Just
Yes.
remind me, tell us a little more about that.
Yeah, so remind me, we just hit sad vibes with Trying to Love You. So I try to like keep it even. We don't want to depress too many people. So Remind Me is a throwback song. It's good, fun summer vibe, something you'd want to listen to on the boat or the beach or at the beach. And it's basically the hook is I love how you remind me. So that feeling when you were 16 years old, like running around with your first love and going to the beach and just like living young, wild, and free in the moment. Growing up, sometimes a lot of that disappears because we have a lot of life stress and finances and everything that's involved with adulting. So when you find a relationship that just like gives you those butterflies that you used to feel when you were 16, 17, and just living in the moment. I feel like those are some of the best relationships that like you want to hold on to. So that's what it reminds me is about. It's just I love how you remind me of feeling young and I'm very excited to put it out. I can't wait for y'all to hear it.
For sure, for sure. Well, since we're talking about it, do you want to play us that tune real quick?
Yeah, let's do it. You guys are going to be like literally the first people to hear it right now. So I'm pumped. Let me get my little pick out. Backseat, old Jeep, Chesney, waiting on the station. White Beach, that heat, 16, summer vacation. Falling fast, watching that sunset. You and me, shooting we back then. The blue sky, living on cherry valley. Windows down, got that young crazy that takes me back to towns that I thought were far behind me. I love how you remind me. No shoes, your shirt, you first, right into the water. July, moonlight, rewind, stay a little longer. Feeling didn't back, but you from the sunshine, golden winds in the blue. Sleeping on my cherry valley, windows down, baby. Got that young crazy that takes me back to towns that I thought were far behind. I love how you remind me. I love how you remind me. You run me, you can't lie. Sleep out, story days of bone. Long nights, down a high, gets on. You remind me of sunshine, rolling waves in the blue sky, and you blue, sleeping on cherry mountain. That you are ready, that takes me back to towns that I thought were far behind me. Back to towns that I thought were far behind me. I love how you remind me. I love how you remind me.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm pumped to put it out.
Yes, July 26th, that comes out. Remind me, y'all go check that out for sure.
So check it out.
I don't want to spoil too much, but you got more projects in the works after this
Yes.
one?
Yeah, I do. So right now I'm on a release schedule and you can expect a song about every 5 weeks. And on a good note, I am really overproducing music at the moment. I have a lot of songs that I've been writing. So maybe there will be a fun little EP or an album in my future, but we're working on that. So stay tuned.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, prime time, this was a great interview here. Go check out Faith Schueler. She is killer, great voice, super talented. And then we will be back